So either you pray for them, you give them the information that they need to get, and you step back. That's how much you can help them. You can't really help them beyond that.
Hello and good afternoon. Hello and welcome to Special Moms Africa, the podcast. And this is Real Talk on special needs parenting. My name is Yemisi Fajimolu Taiwo, and I'm your lead host on today's episode. I also have here with me some very amazing ladies, I have to say. If you're just joining us for the first time, over to my extreme left, we have Bukola Ainde.
Hello.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Great to be here.
And to my immediate left, we have Tonya Falugi.
That's right.
And to my right here is the very beautiful, the sensual Obafi Kemi Luther. Hi.
Hello.
How are you? Okay, and just a quick note to our regular listeners. We may sound a little bit different today because we are coming from the African Next podcast stage, to which we're very honored to be on, but we'll speak more on that a little bit later. Now, just let's get started.
I think one of the things for me that I just want to say, I mean, everyone is here listening, is also the thing of, we're here listening today. You guys are going to go back to your regular lives, to your normal lives. But one thing, and I keep saying that, like I said at the beginning, I found that, and I pray that this will be with this audience as well, that people are kinder. This panel knows me. I don't really fight for the children. I can't lie, because I think children have plenty people fighting for them. Me, I fight for the parents because people forget that they're parents at the back of our beautiful children. The parents really are the ones that have to hear the negative remarks. They're the ones that have to deal with the horribleness from people. They're the ones who have to worry about the future. They're the ones who have to worry what's going to happen when, so I just ask for everyone here, even if you've never met a special needs child or you've never had someone with special needs before, if you could just be one of those people who reach one and teach one. So be that person who will be kind to a parent with special needs, to a child with special needs, and to just share that message that these are, you've seen us. If you saw us outside, you'd be like, hey, who are these cool, beautiful, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say beautiful.
Thank you.
Who are these cool, who are these cool, beautiful, women and everything, not knowing that they have children with disabilities, right? So I just want us to just be more compassionate, and empathy is all that we actually need. All the therapy and everything really doesn't work if there's no compassion and if there's no empathy. So that's what I'm really asking for just compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
So...
Thank you. That was lovely. All right. So I'd like to open up the floor.
Just say good.
I'd like to open up the floor. If you have any questions, if you're curious about anything, we would love to hear.
I've been watching
the lady in the pink, please.
She was crying with us when we were crying. I could see her face, through her mask.
And giggling.
Please tell us your name and where are you from? Okay. I love that. Sanitary.
Good afternoon. My name is Gosene Christabel, and I'm from Edo State. I have a niece. I had a brother, actually, who had special needs, but he's late now. So.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where I get
It's okay. It happens all the time.
Okay.
Special Moms Africa, the crying department here. Just take a breath.
Yeah, thank you. So I have a niece. She has autism, and it can be really hard, with society, church. Sometimes it's horrible, mostly with the Sunday schools. My question is this: is there some kind of policies that the government has concerning kids, special needs children in education? Because I have seen sometimes in classrooms, it can be really vile. Even sometimes if a child has a little stutter, they just tell him to sit down. So I can't imagine what children with developmental disabilities have. So that's my question. If there
Okay,
are any policies.
that's gonna be one of us too, right?
That's a great question.
Okay, so if I may get your question very well, you want to know if there are policies about children with special needs as against discrimination. Okay, so there are policies of we shouldn't discriminate against them. They have their rights. I can't tell you the exact ones right now, top of my head. However, we don't need policies for those. It's just human kindness.
Yeah.
It's just being empathic. It's just been, okay, let me shock you. I was a time, with that, I don't want to mention their name, that foundation.
Yes.
So I did a research on inclusive education in Lagos State, and I went to a public school somewhere in Mushin, whereby they said it was an inclusive school. But when I got there, the school is, all these two schools in one school. So the first school, A, is like L shape. So the L is for the neurotypical children. Then they now left all the children with disability, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, deaf. Everybody inside one class. And I think they had like just 2 teachers. Then I went into that class. It was a grandma that is the caregiver. Mm-hmm. One single grandma, and I mean grandma. Then during the break time, because of these children, some kind-hearted people donated toys, to the school. These children don't come out to play with them. They sit in their classroom throughout break time. So they don't mix at all. Because initially, when they wanted to mix, parents started removing their children from the school. Because that's usually the number one issue. Parents will say, how they say it in Lagos, how can my normal child, be in a class with abnormal children? So the school started losing children. But when the school was now being funded by a big foundation here in Nigeria, and they renovated the whole school, they brought back their children. Now, and I asked the school, how come you don't have so many staff? We said, that nobody wants to be posted to that section. A particular pregnant woman was posted to the school. And when she got there, she bursted into tears. And they asked her why. She said that they want those children to enter into her tummy. Then she will give birth to an abnormal child. So you see, we are coming from a deep place of spiritual and cultural, societal ignorance and problems. It's not the government, it's you and I.
Yeah,
and the community.
Can I give an answer? Okay,
so in terms of, look, generally in Nigeria, Lagos State is doing the best, right? Ministry of Education, they have a special education needs head, specifically with the Ministry of Education of Lagos State. They're currently about to start a new batch of therapies, which is great. Actually, trainings with a couple of hundreds of teachers. Great. It's a drop in the ocean, but it's something. So Lagos State tends to be far ahead than the others. However, the issues fall under, exactly what you're saying in terms of treatment, but also the fact that, qualifications and certifications is an issue. Someone says they're a special education needs teacher, they're SENCO qualified, but really are they? How do you check? How do you make sure they're up to date with these qualifications? So that we have an issue in terms of keeping up with certifications, enforcement, and let's not even talk about private schools, because private schools operate with impunity. And, we should feel like we're blessed that they will accept our children. Parents need to do the work.
Yeah,
that's it at the end of the day. Government has to do the work, but government is made of people. Parents need to do the work. Parents need to talk. They need to shout. They need to demand what is needed for their child. And it is difficult maybe when you don't have a certain amount of power to be able to do that. So there are risks that people do take in speaking up. But for me, it's worth every risk.
Yeah. Can I just share? So, Christabel, you spoke to a particular problem that I've faced 3 times. But one was with a very big church here in Lekki, a very, very big church. I fought with the pastor, fought with everything because there was nowhere for my daughter to be put. So they would put her in the regular classes and, of course, people would complain. So I was able to find some volunteers to lovely ladies who decided that they would volunteer in another class, and that's how the special needs class started in that church. In England as well, when we were there, I would disrupt. So Tonya and the other ladies know me. If I don't have any other way to do, I'm just going to be a problem to you. So I will sit in the middle of the church and I'll allow her to do as she likes. And if you've ever seen an autistic child have a meltdown, it's not nice. I will leave her in the middle of church to give them hell. After a while, they decided that, okay, this woman and her problems are too many. So they took me upstairs and they found a little place. And guess what? People started coming out one by one to say, oh, my child is autistic. And that's how that little group started. So I may not have policies and whatever. What I have is trouble. So trouble is another way. And then if you can find kind and empathic people who will volunteer to maybe, because as I said, even if you don't have training, if you have kindness and patience, you can help to run those sections in where your niece is. So I wish you all luck. You're welcome.
Any more questions? Okay.
So ask your question.
Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
You're doing amazingly well.
Thank
from
you.
The stories I've heard.
Can you put it a
Okay.
little bit closer to your mouth, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, how do you deal or advise parents that are not ready or willing to accept that?
Diagnosis.
Yeah, they're in denial. Because I have a friend, she was teaching a child, and then from everything she listed about that child, I could tell that the child was autistic. However, she tried advising the mom. This child is 6 years old, and she wasn't going to have any of it. They keep beating the child, and I can imagine the reaction of the child eventually later, like when she grows much older, and then the hatred she might feel towards the mom, because she has other friends that she compares.
Your child.
Yes, and then she's just in so much denial, and my friend had to resign and quit teaching the child, because if she couldn't penetrate the mother, there was just a little she could do. Yeah,
Thank
so how
you.
do you
Thank
advise
you.
such parents?
Can we get the other
Other
questions first, and then we'll just sort of address that really quickly?
Yes.
Yeah,
So the lady in red and the lady in black.
Lady in red.
I knew. I was waiting for it.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Hilda Dokubo. Mine is not so much of a question as it is a suggestion, right? Stigmatization is evil. It's a crime not just against the child, but against humanity and God. And you know us, we will stigmatize anybody. Anything. For us, growing up, if a child was autistic, Nigerians will beat the autism off because our parents didn't know anything about autism. No idea. So they just knew that this child is restless, this child throws tantrums. It will beat broad daylight out of you. In fact, the autism will correct by itself. This was us. Today we know what autism is. So when children become in a certain way, we begin to say, oh, okay, maybe I should run an evaluation. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. I'm thinking, sitting down here and asking myself, I have a lot of friends growing up who we used to call Abebebe. You know what Abebebe is, right? Rather than
Stammers.
no, I wish it was. It would have been kind and nice. But we were cruel. These were kids with Down syndrome, maybe. And you know, when they have a fit, you just see them go like that.
Oh, I get it.
And for us as children, we didn't know what it was. So we called them Abebebe. Right? And these children grew as Abebe. But we had adults around us who didn't help the situation by telling us not to be that cruel. So brings me back to what I want to say. I think that all of you who are strong women, I must say, you're great fighters to have kids with needs and still be there with them to fight. I think you should do more than that. Get a few of us who don't have children like that. We all have children who have something. It may not be
autism, it may not be Down syndrome, it may just be sheer stubbornness. We have them, they're at home, right? I think you should meet some people, your friends, who are human beings, right? See how many people you can incorporate into this cry. It's a cry for humanity to understand that these children need to be loved and looked after.
Yeah.
Just try. Get as many people as you can. Okay? So let all of us fight for these children, not just you. Let all of us go to the streets and say, hey, they are not a baby and they're not any other thing.
Yes.
2, I've worked in a school where they said it's because I do drama for re-engineering. And I have worked in schools where they say, oh, these kids have special needs. Just that it won't be kind. The best child that I met in that school was a special needs child. And I was shocked. The minute you give him his script, before you turn like this, he has your lines, his lines, and every other person's lines. Wow. Once you give instruction, he has his own instruction. In fact, he became the second director. The only problem I had with him was he was restless, right? So the easiest way to cure the restlessness was I gave him loads of papers and plenty of colors. So write, if anybody goes wrong, mark the person with a red paint. If somebody and it kept him really busy. But did he know what he was required to do? Yes, he did. And was he brilliant? Extremely brilliant. Was he problem if you didn't have time for him? He could have been, but he was not. Because even on the day of performance, when the head of the school said this child is special needs, I frowned. I was unhappy because I didn't want for parents to know that he was special needs. But his special needs was special in a kind of way. So I think you should recruit a whole lot of your friends, all of them. They're either with you in this fight or they're not your friends.
Well said.
Thank you so much.
So last question from Lady in Black.
Good afternoon.
I am Gemma. I am going to be asking a question from the angle of marriage that you talked about. So I believe the world is changing and everyone is falling in love with different people. And I don't know, let me just go straight to the question. Is it medically possible for someone with this special needs to bring forth offspring without special needs?
Take that one.
Yes.
Okay, so the 2 questions. I think Bukola is best to answer the first one. How do you approach parents in denial?
Okay, so I'm going to be very quick. You can't love them more than they love their children. The first thing is you give them the information as much as you can. Like I will tell you straightforward. They may either block you, hate you, or delete your number because you're not helping their positivity. They are going in the faith realm. They don't want to believe it. So either you pray for them, you give them the information that they need to get, and you step back. That's how much you can help them. You can't really help them beyond that.
I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and ask you about either you or Obafe Kemi about your
Marriage.
No, not about marriage. Just I know that both of you went through a period of denial. So if you want to talk from the parents' angle very quickly about going through denial.
Okay, in my case, parents in denial. Okay, let me put it this way. I had a friend that came up to me and said to me, what are you going to do about Alex? And I was like, what? And she was like, she sat in my living room. She said, what are you going to do about Alex? I was like, there's nothing wrong with Alex. And this, by the way, the doctor's already given me the diagnosis and I've gotten the second confirmation, right? So when she left, the first thing I did was call my mom and I was freaking out. And I was like, my friend came and she said this and she said this. So myself and my mother, we knew and we had accepted. I didn't discuss it with my husband. I don't know who else knew. But the thing is, I had to take time to sort of grieve for the child I was expecting, to then come to terms with the child that I have, to then sort of come to terms with what do I want for my child. But when you're talking about a child that's 6 years old, it's a situation where that parent needs somebody not to approach her in a way of, I need to talk to you, you need to sit down, this and this is happening. You have to study the person that you're dealing with to say, how best do I approach this person? Because, for example, if I'm going to approach Tonya, I will have a different way to approaching her than I would Obafe Kemi, because they are two different people. You have to study the person that you're dealing with and basically try and figure out what kind of person that they are and how best to sort of penetrate their psyche. A lot of parents are expecting when they give birth to a typical child. When you now hit them with, oh, by the way, and the lady is a lesson teacher that's supposed to come and teach the child. And you're now saying, by the way, there's something wrong with your child. No. Who are you? How dare you? Nobody in her family has come up to her to say anything. Then you, somebody I'm paying, is now going to come to tell me that there's something wrong with my child. They're not going to hear it. That person has to go to somebody else, find somebody else, right? That is close to that woman, to talk to that woman and explain to that person how they're going to explain to the woman. That's the way I would say you'd approach it.
Obafe Kemi, really quickly before we get kicked out.
I wasn't actually going to give any answer because for me, I just think you've done what you can. You've told her and the person just has to come to there. Some people may never come to the realization. Some will. And so it's really for that parent to be ready because you can take a water to the stream. It may not drink. So I just think it's only love and compassion and really to have compassion for the mother or the parents, because that's just what they need. It's a difficult reality. So it's just to not beat her around the head with it, but just love her and know that no matter what it is, your child is perfect, and they just need to see that. But there's nothing you can do until they're ready.
All right, so on last question. That last question on whether people with special needs can have offspring.
That are atypical.
That are atypical.
Yes.
Short answer is yes, they very much can. Whether it's a cognitive disability, a physical disability, they can have neurotypical children. Take, for example, dwarfism. You can have two dwarfs, right? Produce a neurotypical child. You can have, I think the one that went around social media this past year was of a doctor whose father has Down syndrome. Yeah. So it's completely possible. And these are the narratives that the wider society needs to see because they feel like that's it. They should be neutered. No offspring for you. No marriage for you. Just block yourself in a corner and die. And that's the opposite of what we should be saying. So yes, because short version of that answer.
Two neurotypical parents have a child that has special needs with no anything. So anything is possible.
Anything.
So yeah. And you can love somebody that has special needs.
Don't be scared. You have great babies.
Nigeria has special needs.
By the way, can I just say?
Everybody in Nigeria has special needs.
I'm telling you.
Everybody
needs And the one thing that you everybody should look at, like you said, everybody has special needs. You just need to go get it checked out, find out what you have, and deal with it. That's all it is. Okay?
Everybody, that's everybody sitting here.
That I can tell you is this. Let me tell you one very, very, very special thing that you should all know. Special needs children have feelings just as much as you do. They understand every single thing you are saying to them. About them, one may not be able to communicate perfectly, but you're speaking to them. They sense your energy. They sense your vibe. If you don't like them, they don't like you back. If you're feeling the love towards them, they give you the warmest and most special hugs. I tell you.
This is the very short story, but it's very quick. Sorry. So I'm at the station. There's a guy. He's a quadriplegic. Is that what you say? He can't move his hands. He can't speak or anything. But he has a little computer on his screen that talks. So my friend and I are walking by. As you can see, we're very curvaceous women. And all of a sudden, the computer starts shouting, "Ooh, sexy lady, sexy lady." So I'm thinking to myself, wait, he can't speak. He can't. But his brain
is working.
And his humanness is working. I think that's when I knew that vegetable or whatever we think, they have minds, feelings, thoughts. So compassion and empathy, again, is a very, very big thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us here today. So first of all, we just like to say a big thank you to my co-host here today, Bukola Ayinde, Tonya Falugi,
Ekuze,
and And Obafemi Luther. You have to say her name like that. My name is Yemisi Fajimolu Taiwo. We are Special Mums Africa. And please follow us on social media. This is actually our last episode. So please look out for all our previous episodes on Africa Business Radio, the app, or wherever you get your podcast from. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. You know what to do. Okay? And thank you very, very, very much for listening to us. And again, listen to your episodes, cry, share, and hug one another. And please be kind to each other.
Thank you so much to Africa Next for having us.
I'm Toye Falogi Ekezie. If you're enjoying this episode of Special Moms Africa, brought to you by Simone's Oasis and Africa Business Radio, then why not listen to our other podcast, Represented, Storybooks and More for African Kids. Now, don't forget to subscribe, put on your notifications, and share with loads of people out there. Thanks for listening.